we all went to Ogden City Schools, and I think I chose Ogden School District because I do have the Spanish-speaking ability, and I wanted to help.
You know, I had this teacher when I was in middle school that I looked at him one day and I thought that he had the greatest job in the world.
It's something I've always wanted to do.
I started out in dental hygiene at Weber State and decided I didn't like sticking my hands in people's mouths.
Well, there were 3 things I wanted to do as a kid. One was the military, like every young boy. Another was being a farmer, where I grew up on a farm, and then the third was teaching. So I got 2 of them, farming and teaching.
I kind of just thought, you know what, this is a really important thing to do, is help people become the best that they can be.
Well, I wanted to make a difference in children's lives.
Started teaching in New York City in the Bronx at Truman High School. Went to Iraq for a year, came back.
I don't know, I came home. Ogden's my home. I've traveled the world.
Ogden is an exceedingly unique place, and it's a place where people have been allowed to dream.
When I see you as a child and then now grown up, or even the mayor, he went to Ogden City Schools, so it makes a difference that I have an investment in this.
You know, our district leadership, they want you to be excellent, and I think that brings out the passion in me as a professional. And I think the situation demands excellence, which I like. It's not like I can go get a job, go to a classroom and just collect dust. That doesn't fly here.
I really like Ogden's vision. I like that that they're kind of ahead of what they expect from teachers. I like that they're expecting us to be accountable.
I remember one time sitting in the airport with the superintendent, and we were joking around, me and a couple other teachers, about some things, and he overheard us because one of them goes, well, ask the superintendent for it. And he was sitting next to us, he's like, ask me what? And so I asked him, he's like, you prove that it works, you show me the data, and we'll find the money. And you know, that's where somebody wants to work.
In terms of mission and vision, where the Ogden District is headed is where the rest of Utah needs to go.
I also think our focus is different than other districts. It is the student and the difference we can make in each individual student's life, and it's not just data, it's the data about students and how you can change their lives.
There's this focus on student success and making sure that students are prepared to go to college and are ready to go to college, and it's not this fluffed idea of what education really is.
We pull, especially at Mount Ogden, from the highest of the high and from the lowest of the low, and put them all in one place and have one goal for them, and that's learning.
I spent a year outside of the district, and I came back because the kids are so awesome here, and I like working with the kids.
I think our first and most important job is to make sure that students feel loved. You know, I think that every day when you go in, you have students that maybe that's the only place they get that from. And so my first job is to make sure that they know that I care about them.
See that the teachers show that they care about the children in their classroom, that they are important.
When it came time for me to choose what district I wanted to student teach in, I had been contemplating Ogden for a while, but every time I told people, the responses weren't that great. I loved student teaching at D. I immediately fell in love with the teachers that I worked with. Even the teachers that I wasn't student teaching with were so helpful. I think the thing that really ultimately made me decide that I wanted to stay in Ogden, that I was going to choose to work for Ogden School District, was the students at D. I fell absolutely in love with the challenges that came with teaching them, the struggles that they went through.
They're the underdogs, you know? They come in expecting that that's just their life, is how it's going to be, and I think it's a challenge to say, you're as good as anybody and let's prove it to you. And it's not only proving it to them, it's proving to everybody else in the community. I mean, I tell them all the time, everybody looks at you guys as the, you know, kind of the armpit of Utah. You live in Ogden, downtown Ogden. You're the armpit of Utah. I think everybody down here wears a gun and a knife and a gangster. And you're not, you know? Let's prove to everybody what you really can do.
You can get anything you want from the school system that we have here. People are always searching for the special magic bullet or the silver bullet or anything else. Engagement is the silver bullet.
Y me gusta la relación que hay entre los maestros y los padres. están muy abiertos a las preguntas que les hacemos y todo el tiempo están disponibles para nosotros los papás.
I think that's the most important thing for any teacher is that connection. If they can make that connection with the student, that student will remember it for the rest of their life, and that's something they'll carry with them forever.
I like school because I love my teacher. I like the elementary because I get to learn.
I would tell my teachers, thank you for always finding clever ways to describe all this different stuff to me.
Teachers are nice and they'll help you if you're trouble and if you're bad in something.
It's not frightening to come to school. You can go to her and talk to her about anything, and so you're not afraid to tell her that you can't do this.
I really struggle. I'm still struggling, but I'm fighting to get to math better.
My teacher did an awesome thing, which was help me unlock my spirit in writing. At first I used to hate writing, but now I love it because of the way she taught me how to write.
Don't give up. Keep trying to figure out the problem. Write it down.
Learning is just, it's that feeling that you're doing really good. You feel like you're doing a lot of stuff and you know how to do it.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
The teacher should also love their job, which is teaching, because if they hate it, then it won't really help the students at all.
Well, I'm happy to say that I've taught 40+ years. I love it as much today as I did when I first started. I just love it. I love what I do.
I actually enjoy the thing that is most frustrating and most exhausting is the complexity of the challenge. I love the fact that day in and day out, the context shifts enough that it keeps things fresh, that we always have a new perspective on things, and we have to seek new approaches, and we have to consistently learn.
Well, I try to convey to my students my passion for learning. I want them to feel that I love what I do.
Ogden City Schools have always promoted that with our boys. They've continued to feed what we've fed them at home, they've fed to them in the schools, and that idea that they should want to learn and they should enjoy learning, and it's okay to enjoy learning.
I know what kind of teachers are in Ogden City Schools. I've been around a lot of them, and I know that they are highly qualified and that they are a perfect tool in a parent's belt where we can send our kids.
Looking down at all I see. It's the kids, and that I can see they're learning and growing, and I'm making a difference in their lives.
They're just as good. They can have that house, they can have that life, they can travel the world. They don't have to be stuck in their 2-block area of downtown Ogden the rest of their life.
All of our parents didn't go to college, and so I think by helping students, being an example to them.
Para su educación de ellos, lo que yo quiero es que ellos se gradúen de la universidad para que puedan tener una mejor vida y que estén más educados que los papás.
To focus on their learning every day, so when they leave, I hope that they will remember that in every grade that they go to, and they will be able to keep their eyes on the prize.
We are Ogden School District. You know, we can go to the market and they'll be like, aren't you the señorita that works here? Or, oh, can you help me still with this? Even though we leave from our jobs, we still represent Ogden School District even beyond that.
We are the faces of Ogden School District.
I hope it's gonna make you notice. I hope it's gonna make you notice.
I choose Ogden.
I choose Ogden.
I choose Ogden.
Yo elijo a Ogden.
I choose Ogden.
I choose Ogden.
I choose Ogden.
Yo escojo a Ogden.
I choose 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 Ogden.